Welcome to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
As life at Walt Disney World gets closer and closer to the way it was in the before times, the dark corners of the Disney internet have been buzzing with speculation about FastPass Plus. Will it come back? If so, when? And what's it going to look like? We're going to give you all the information you never knew you needed about FastPasses, but first, let's get some travel news out of the way. The news this week, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Guys, it's like the pandemic's over or something, at least
it is
in
for
Walt
me.
Disney World.
It is for me, too.
With it.
Yeah. But yeah, Disney World is pretty much just business as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, we're going to take it slow and see how it goes. And then this week, they're just YOLOing it completely. Every day, there's some new thing.
Well, no.
Yeah.
It's funny because I just got an email a couple of hours ago when I was prepping for this.
You prep for this?
Say one occasionally. The big news being that, well, I guess we'll just say it. Animal Kingdom Lodge is going to be reopening in August.
Oh, August 26th.
That's right. And in the little blurb that they sent out to us, they said, as we continue to take a measured approach, like, guys, you just announced fireworks are coming back and your masks are gone and your plexiglass is gone and social distancing markers are gone.
Masks
Pre-shows
today,
are back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, where's the measured approach?
Yeah.
Well, they're measuring it by sending out an email, carefully vetted email, every 2 hours.
Yeah. Masks mandates done as of today, indoors and out. The only place you have to wear them now is on a bus or I think the monorail as well.
Yeah, I think all transportation modes. Yeah. They said
not boats though. I heard from people. Well, that's true, but you do sit indoors on those friendship boats.
That's a good, valid point.
They do have an interior. But I heard from some folks who are down there right now and that rode the friendship boats today, and they're the captain. Is that what we're calling them? The
skipper?
The skipper.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's earned the right to be a skipper.
Said no masks were required on the friendship boats or any of the other boats, but yes to monorails, buses. But the buses, they took out all the plexiglass and they took out the thing where during the pandemic, the bus driver was seating you and only the seats were being used.
They had
and
like
now
a
it's back
hostess
to
showing you to your seat?
Yeah. The bus driver came around and would take you to your section.
I don't think I ever got on a bus during
That was not pleasant. There was a couple of times last month that when Zach and I would get on a bus and the bus driver was not very thoughtful about which pair of seats he stuck us in.
Oh, no.
There's some pretty tight quarters.
I know.
Was it squashed? Yeah. But it's done. And it's back to standing room on the buses.
If they were using these little bars to put up the plexiglass, I could see how that could make a squeeze in certain pairings of seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two seats directly behind the driver.
Oh, yeah.
Pleasant for two grown men to sit in.
That's when you got to sit in each other's laps like men.
That's right.
Monorail, they've taken down all that weird plastic tarping, but you have to wear a mask. Skyliner, I guess they are mixing parties on that now, but I don't know.
I'm not wearing one on
well
there.
ventilated.
I realize they don't have cameras, so what do I care?
Yeah.
Well, and you're vaccinated, so you know that you're not going to be spreading anything and you're not going to be picking anything
Just my
up.
legs
So
when I'm on there.
good to know. Thank you.
It's that cross breeze that it gives you a real nice airing out.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm so excited that they brought back the pre-shows, especially for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I still cannot say that.
I'm bummed that I missed that by just a couple of
That's
years.
really the most
missed
amazing
it.
part, Dan. It's too bad you haven't
It
seen
really
it.
is. It's so good.
And it only ran, what was it,
A couple of days.
it was like 2 weeks or
Maybe
something
a couple
before
of
it
weeks.
closed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But now nothing can stop them now.
that's right.
Nothing. Social
Nada.
distancing markers are gone. In some cases, I'm a little sad for that, but I heard, I read somebody's Facebook post today that said, I heard the words I haven't heard in 18 months. Please fill in all available space.
Oh boy.
I've only been hearing that at truck stops until just today.
Spent a lot of time hanging out at truck stops there, Jeff?
Yeah, I always have to bring up my truck stop activities.
We're so glad for it.
It was nice having extra space in like the tiki room and the country bears.
Well, you should still have plenty of space in those two attractions. No one goes in there.
Ouch. So what are we down to with Jeff and I were trying to figure this out earlier. Closed resorts that don't have an opening date yet. Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter, we don't know. But the Polynesian, they just keep saying July. We have no idea.
I think they're accepting reservations already there, right?
They are,
So
I think.
you could just figure that out pretty
Yeah. I think I saw
easy.
them as early as mid-July.
Mm-hmm. I think there is a date,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
just
couldn't
weird
find
that
it
they
today.
haven't.
Yeah. The All-Star Music and Sports are still not open.
Ugh.
Yeah, not sad about that one.
I've never
I
stayed
think
in either
that's
one of
it
those.
now, though. Animal Kingdom Lodge is opening without Boma or Jico, just the Mara.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Just that, and the Mara is very small. Their little fast food quick service counters, that's small. There's probably 20 tables in there.
That makes no sense that they're going to have that entire deluxe resort open without any other dining.
Just quick service, or you could take the shuttle over to
Sanaa.
Kidani for Sanaa.
And Sanaa is very small and already a hard to get reservation.
Yeah, I suppose. Who doesn't love Rainforest Cafe? Me.
I've never
It's
been.
me.
I cannot comment. I hear it's like a jungle-themed Flo's V8 cafe.
All very similar. Well, if you've been to the T-Rex Cafe, it's kind of a more generic version of
Yeah, I
that.
haven't done that one either.
That's because you're a grown-up.
I used to have a kid. Well, we tried to go to T-Rex, and yeah, he wanted to do the Build-A-Bear thing, so we did that, and then realized, well, we could just leave. We just done that.
We're done.
Nice.
Yeah, it feels like the oldie times. So I'm excited. I will be there. Jeff and I will be there on July 1st for the very first fireworks
Nice.
nighttime spectacular.
Well, the saddest thing to me is that last year were going to premiere early this year, or maybe late last year, the new Epcot fireworks show. So they were
Yes.
closed for all those months. And they haven't had any show for a year, and now will be a year and a half almost. And when they do finally bring the fireworks back, it's Epcot forever again. Like, why couldn't you go ahead and premiere the big one?
They still don't even have water running through those ugly ass fountains.
Yeah.
I guess. I saw water running through it, though, recently.
Was it? Was
Mhm.
it like...
When we were there last, they were
They've been
running water
testing it.
through it. But I got to say, they were like, oh, once the water's going, you won't notice how ugly these big black platforms are. But yes, you will.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, you will.
It looks like a Kiss concert is set up on a stage out there in the middle of the water. It's just,
You don't get the benefit of
yeah,
Kiss.
it's just black
being
and steel structures that pump water through.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done something a little better.
I hope it looks better when it's
I'm sure it'll
completely
be
up and
awesome.
running. But yeah, I'm sad that it's not going to be ready by July. But
The last water
Oh.
projection show they did, they sunk the thing right when they were going to open.
Yes, it's true. Sunken barge.
Mhm.
R.I.P. Rivers of Light.
Yeah. Well, they've got to save something for the 50th.
That's true. I mean, they built that whole huge water amphitheater area for Rivers
They
of
need
Light.
to have
Somebody
like a
come
water
up with
ski show
something.
like they used to have at Cypress Gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
love that stuff. They have Goofy out there on skis? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, like they used to do the Goofy how to play football and how to water ski. Do Goofy how to water
Yes.
ski.
Well, when they opened up the Poly, he water skied.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
All
great
right, somebody
idea.
call Bob.
Call the Bobs.
TM.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Actually, we'll give you that one for free, Bobs. We just want to see it.
Yeah, for real.
I was trying to think if there's anything else exciting that I heard recently out of Disney we haven't talked about. They broke ground on that awesome Moana
Yeah,
garden
they sure
fountain
did.
thing. That's going to be
I think
exciting.
Disneyland
They've-
also dropped their mask mandates today. Is
They
that
did.
correct? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Same thing, full on. They've ramped up work on Tron.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
when everybody freaked out because they closed up the opening where the track went into the
So
building
birds
and
don't
everyone
fly in there while
assumed
they're building it.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Everyone assumed it meant that they were stopping. Well, they didn't.
They did not,
Right.
and they've been working on the interior apparently this whole time.
Mhm.
And also, I don't remember exactly what the story was, but I saw pictures of the interior of Mission Breakout, and they were doing something inside there. I mean, it wasn't an
Yes.
exciting interior. It was just like you could see
But they're in
black
there
track
working.
in a black building. So, yeah, they're doing work in there also.
Yeah, there was
Excellent. I'm
maybe like
excited
2
for
months
that.
ago or more. They showed that they were laying the tracks all in there, and they're working on the special effects and all.
Yep.
I'm actually more excited, I
Woohoo.
think, about Guardians than Tron. Guardians looks more like I can
Yeah.
fit on it too. So I'm going to act like that's the one I'm super excited about. So that if I can't
My
ride it,
thing-
I didn't want to ride it anyway.
My thing about Tron is from watching the videos of the one that's already open is it's kind of short.
Yeah,
Like I want that experience
But
to
it's
be
thick.
that's what's important.
Mhm.
yeah, it moves around real good.
Yes.
But, just a little bit longer would be a little nice. Anyway,
Trying to hit those G forces.
yes, the G forces.
I love those G forces.
Uh-huh. Do we have any other exciting things coming back to Disney or anything else?
Disneyland, they announced that there's a special on hotels that launched today.
Oh, yeah,
25% discount.
Yeah.
Oh.
They want, well, and yet today, as we're recording, was the official day that they welcomed back non-California residents. So that's exciting.
Oh,
We actually have the possibility of going to Disneyland now.
yeah, that was interesting to me because California held out forever and ever. And then they too just were like, okay, whatever,
Yep,
we're done.
We're
We're
done
dropping
here.
everything.
Well, I kind of briefly mentioned it before, but it's kind of the way that like we kind of, after a lot of tough talk here in Michigan about how we were going to tie reopening to numbers, and
Yeah.
then our governor got caught breaking her own rules a couple of times, and all of a sudden all the rules
Yep.
were gone.
Yep.
It seems like the same thing happened in California where they decided to recall
That's
Gavin,
true.
and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing it. Go
And
for
Gavin
it.
kept getting caught having elaborate dinner parties and being in restaurants and
Yeah.
all the things no one
Same
else
type
was
of
allowed to
thing.
do. Let them eat cake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I'm just so happy to see
That's good,
things
though.
starting to look a little bit normal again, except that now
Yes.
there's crowds.
I know.
Right.
That's the downside, right? Is
and
the
they're not
crowds
just
are
crowds, they are crowds.
Yeah, demand is nuts right now.
so the
Well, that was
demand
another
is
thing
great.
was
It's great.
Universal said and admitted that they're at 100% capacity. They're no longer limiting anything. Disney hasn't admitted that yet, so I don't know. But
No,
But
it's
judging
hard to
by-
tell, but I think
Judging by how more and more reservations keep showing up magically for sold out months, I think they're, if not at 100, they're inching up there.
I don't see how they could be at 100% if all of their hotels aren't open.
yeah, and they need to finally start opening more dining. It's happening. It's slowly. We got an opening date for Ohana. Finally.
But the noodles.
But the noodles. There weren't
freaked
going to
out
be
'cause they
any
weren't gonna have
noodles.
and it actually worked. It's the one time a Disney group think freak out happened that it worked.
Well, it kind of surprised me they didn't have those on there because noodles are cheap. Like, get rid of that whatever disgusting shrimp casserole.
Yeah.
Just give us some
I'm more
grilled
concerned
shrimp
with
in the noodles.
fact that, they got rid of grilled yummy shrimp and made it a casserole.
Y'all didn't listen to this week's episode, did you?
No.
I was recovering from Mexico.
I'm happy to talk about shrimp casserole again because I got feelings about shrimp casserole. Did you see that they also put for one of the meat offerings while we're going back over it? One of the meat offerings they put kielbasa sausage on there.
Yes.
Why not Spam?
Oh,
if
they
it's
used to
supposed
have
be the
Portuguese
islands?
sausage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that's
they?
Polynesian. That's what they like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kielbasa, the last time I checked, is not Polynesian.
They thought it was
No.
Polynesian.
Oh, that's what it is. Well, we're sorry to bring up bad memories and rehash Ohana again with you, Dan. But
That's all right. Well, good news. The good guys won. The internet,
yes.
did what they failed to do with Mr. Toad and
Yeah.
saved the
We
noodles.
need a write-in thing about bringing back the scrimp skewers.
Yes. I honestly think a lot of the restaurant issues and the delays on reopening resorts is a staffing thing.
For sure.
I think they're having problems just like everyone else hiring people.
The last time that I was looking in there, just out of curiosity, there were like 1,400 job openings. Like just
Wow.
and they were all either hospitality or food service, full-time
Well,
jobs.
if it's always been your dream to work at Walt Disney World, now it's the time to go grab
Please
yourself
go get a job there.
Please, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they time to go make a bad life decision.
Yes.
And you're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
He could
Yeah.
he could do all the same stuff from Florida.
Well, I guess that's true. You can
Yeah.
work there.
Okay. Well, then they might tell me I'm not allowed to talk to you, though.
Well, then you can definitely
that's
work
true.
I kid.
Oh, I thought we were friends. Well, guys, we're returning to the Atlas Obscura. It's been a while since we've
It
taken
has
a trip
been a minute.
to a weird and wonderful destination in the Atlas Obscura, which is a guide to all the weird and wonderful places around the world. Have you ever heard of a paternoster lift?
Yes. No.
I have
really
heard
have
of
not.
this. I have no idea what it is, but I've heard the words.
Isn't that some kind of
these things-
plastic surgery?
No, paternoster is actually Latin for our Father, and it's
Right.
named for the way, if you're the kind of person who's ever prayed the rosary, the way a person holds the rosary in two hands and passes the beads in between as they go. This is a continuously moving elevator system.
Oh, I've seen these.
Yeah, it was invented in Liverpool, England in the 1860s, but really became hugely popular in Germany and Eastern Europe.
They look terrifying to me.
And it's kind of like
You jump in it?
yes, it's like a Ferris wheel elevator that never stops moving. So there's a big wide shaft and
Yeah,
there's
there is.
the cars go up, and as they pass by the opening on the floor, you jump into the little compartment. There's no door on it, so it's always open. It lifts you up, and then when you get to your floor, you've got to be really quick and jump out before you get decapitated. And then the car, well, I doubt you'd get decapitated, but you got to
It's
be
like
quick.
climbing onto your moving anything.
And you
like the
can
Skyliner.
ride it all the way around, right?
Yes, and that was the other thing. Yeah, so once it gets to the top, it goes into the dark and it moves sideways, and it apparently gets a little rough and shakily and rumbly, and then it transfers to the other and it moves down the shaft. So it goes up the left side and down the right hand side, and at
Excuse
the
me, I
top
need to
and
be alone a few
bottom,
minutes.
you go into the dark there. That's your alone time there, Jeff. So if you're daring, you can go up and over and just ride it in a continuous loop.
I am not daring, and I've seen these
once
things.
I'm on it, I would do that. But it's the jumping on and off part. I feel like I'm going to lose a foot.
Right.
Or something.
I would love to ride one of these things. There are very few of them left in the world, and they are all in. And this is another thing we need to address. When the heck did we stop calling it the Czech Republic?
Did you miss that?
Yeah, I didn't get the memo. Apparently, we call it Czechia now. Czechia.
I didn't know that either.
But yeah.
Yep.
When was that?
It's no longer. I don't. It was sometime after 1998 when I visited. That's all I know.
It was being Czechoslovakia, and then was Czech Republic. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, it still is officially the Czech Republic, but it's a short form name to just call it Czechia.
I see.
It also used to be known as Bohemia.
That's true.
Yes.
It's where Bohemian Rhapsody was written. Did you know that? I made that up.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a good little skip, though.
Thanks.
So they stopped making these things in the 1970s due to, surprisingly, safety
because of all of the feet getting cut off.
Yeah.
Right. But there's currently 68 of them left, and they're all in the Czech Republic.
Oh.
About half of them are located in Prague, and there's only a very few that are actually open to the public to use. But one of them, and the one that they say is probably in the best condition, is in Prague City Hall. And people will go to City Hall just to go and ride this.
I have an issue with the Atlas Obscura website right now. When you have this motion-based look at how this thing operates, why is it still pictures that are illustrating it?
And not a video.
I know. I need to find the video.
I'm sure I can search YouTube, but that just seems short-sighted.
I know. There should be a video running, and I will be posting a video to our Facebook page of how it works because it's really cool. And they show from inside the car somebody riding up and over through the dark portions.
Oof, scary. Apparently, there are still some left in Germany.
Okay,
but they're no longer. Yeah. Well, they're no longer. It's a recent thing that they're no longer open to the public. New German safety rules made it so that only employees who have been trained in Paternoster lift riding are allowed to use them. I guess that there are several in Stuttgart, and their labor minister there shut it down. You can't go ride it anymore.
What a jerk.
Right?
Why do we have to get rid of all the fun stuff?
I just found this article about them that was talking about a recent town hall party in Germany where they were playing Roxette's Joyride and Aerosmith's Love in an Elevator and jumping in and out of the lift.
See,
this is amazing.
Like, I want to know how quickly this thing moves and all that. I feel like I could.
Yeah, is it fast or like?
Man, I wish I could find.
The doorways look a little small to jump into a moving vehicle.
It's a pretty good clip. Yeah, so it's like you got to step on. It moves at about the speed of like an escalator. So like your window of getting on one step on that escalator, it's a good
I
clip.
did used to be terrified of escalators when I was younger.
My mother is.
Yeah.
It's really pretty funny. She freezes and freaks out and can't get on it, and then everyone behind her gets mad. And I just laugh and laugh.
She's holding on to the,
like a Buddy the Elf stretching out.
So if you want to take a trip to Prague, which is a beautiful city,
and
it's super cool because you can. Yeah, you can also, while you're there, you can. They have a whole road called Alchemist Row that is it's medieval era buildings that are still used for commercial business.
That sounds cool.
You can go in. There's shops and stuff in there. It's really cool.
Prague is a city that's been on my bucket list. I'm going to have to.
It's an amazing place.
Make it over there.
Conveniently, you know some travel agents at Key to the World Travel.
I do.
Can help you go. Somewhere else that they can send you if you really want to go is New Jersey.
Mhm.
Hey, New Jersey. Yeah. Actually, I've been watching with interest to a lot of other theme parks other than what we normally talk about a lot of Disney and Universal. Theme parks are opening back up all over the country, and a lot of them have been building some extreme coasters in the off time. The one opening in New Jersey is called the Jersey Devil.
Looks cool.
And it does look really cool. I don't think I've ever seen, this is the world's tallest single rail coaster. I don't think I've ever seen or ridden a single rail
Yeah, I was
coaster
noticing
before.
not only is there only one rail instead of two wheels that straddle that each go on. This
Mhm.
is single rider on each row.
Yeah, like single
Yeah.
file.
Yeah.
They said it was designed that way so that it could take really, really tight turns at very high speeds.
Yeah, I've
And
only
it-
ever seen one in Roller Coaster Tycoon, the game.
Yeah, it looks very cool. Each train holds 12 riders in single file, and its first drop is 87 degrees.
That's
Very,
hot.
very steep
Yeah.
and really, really long drop. It looks pretty extreme.
58 miles an hour.
Yeah,
I'm
so
watching the
fast.
video right now, and those twists and turns, and when it does a barrel roll and stuff, it's just so smooth looking.
It looks
looks really
really fun. It's
Yeah.
3 inversions, including a 180-degree stall, a raven dive, which I'm not familiar with that term, and a zero gravity roll. Is a raven dive just a really, really steep dive, I'm guessing?
I think it's that inverted drop, maybe? I don't know.
Ooh,
Yeah,
That first
I think
drop
it
is
does.
130 feet.
that's a lot of feet.
A Raven dive is a half inversion, which looks like half a loop followed by a drop,
Ooh,
and then it levels out near the same drop as it began. So it's like a.
I can't visualize that.
I can't either, but
Yeah,
it
I know,
sounds
I'm
fun.
having a hard time. Yeah, it looks good.
I'm watching a video
Looks
of it
really
and I
good.
still can't get it.
The zero G stall is fun. We recently experienced one of those on the Velocicoaster, and that's pretty intense.
All those G-force changes kind of wig
Yeah.
me out.
But the whole flipping you upside down and briefly holding you there while you're upside down, it just feels wrong, especially on the Velocicoaster where you don't have a shoulder harness. That was scary, but I liked it.
They're just really
This
going
is-
extreme with all the coasters now.
They really are. This one is tall, but it's not the tallest roller coaster in the world. That one is also in New Jersey at Six
For now.
Flags. Yeah, for now. The King Dakar.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what the
King
theme of that is,
Dakar.
but it's 456 feet tall.
That's
And it has a
300
top
feet
speed.
taller than this thing.
Yeah, and it has a top speed of 128 miles per hour.
Yeah,
That's the
that one's
crazy
got
part.
windscreens in front.
Oh,
of
I
it.
mean, it would have to.
That'll yank your
Yeah.
contacts out of your face.
Yeah, the Mako yanked my contacts off. This
it
surely
doesn't
would.
have windscreens, which is crazy because going 60 on a motorcycle, if you hit a fly, it hurts like a son of a gun.
Oof.
So going 100 and nearly 30 miles an hour, if anything, gets, oh my God.
You must be watching a video.
No, I'm just looking at a picture of this King Dakar, and there's a portion of it that looks like Top Thrill Dragster at
The
Cedar
top hat
Point,
thing.
but it's
Oh
But-
man, I see
it's
it now too.
ridiculously tall, and it does a turn, a roll, but you're going straight up, and you do it's not a barrel roll, it's a heartline roll where it
Oh, yeah.
twists. So it does a twist while you're going up, and then you crest that hill, and then it does that twist going down. So it's like corkscrew straight
This thing
down.
looks straight up
I
crazy.
don't want to do it.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm happy to chicken out on that one.
Yeah, I think I might
Yeah,
have
I'm
to.
elderly,
and
I guess. These super extreme ones are just not, they don't do it for me.
I'm recently very brave, but I don't know about this one. 128 miles an hour? And it goes from 0 to 128 miles an hour in 3 seconds. Oof.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
270 degree spiral. Oh,
I'm a thrill seeker now, but I think I'm going to just say no thank you and stick with the Velocicoaster.
That's so fast.
Speaking of extreme, I found an extreme food article that I'm going to share here. An Ohio restaurant seems to have found use for the brood egg cicadas that are pestering parts of the Midwest right now.
Gross.
The Pete's Bandit in Dayton, Ohio is testing out a spicy Thai cicada pie.
Whoa.
Yep.
No.
Before you get too excited or repulsed, know that the restaurant is not selling cicada-topped pizzas. What? We're not even sure if we can legally sell you foraged cicadas. So they're testing them out right now in the flavor lab to see if they can. Opinions so far range from absolutely delicious to, well, no.
I am not eating a cicada.
While they have their lawyers figure out if they can legally do this, they are working in the kitchen figuring out a spicy Thai cicada pie.
If you too would like to eat a spicy Thai cicada, ugh.
I don't know if I recommend going to Dayton. For anything, but,
hey, even the Ohio native is.
I'm trying to think.
Is vetoing that.
There, that's for. I think that the eating the cicadas is like a thing, right?
It is. People are doing it, and it's repulsive.
Yeah, all the foodies are excited about
the actual cicada or the little shell they leave behind.
Cicadas.
Whoa,
either one.
Because I could see that, like kind of you eat those dried crickets, the spicy Mexican crickets. Yeah, I could almost see the shell.
I mean, it's basically just like a pork rind, right? It's just like a chicharron. Yeah,
it's a cicada roll.
Some tagine on there, and
I saw some pictures from a beach on the East Coast right now, and you think that the seaweed is bad in Mexico this season? This was just dead.
It was like
cicadas.
In Maryland or something. It was
Maryland. Whoa, it was so disgusting.
I'm bummed that we had the extra long cold up here in Michigan that we didn't get any of the cicadas.
We have them all the time here. They don't come seasonally. We just have them every night. You hear
gross. I keep seeing TikTok videos of people just getting swarmed by them because when they crawl out from underground, they're looking for a tree. Mm-hmm. And they think you're a tree, and they will just fly right at your face. Ugh.
Did you see the one that was the construction workers that are just having to work while literally just covered head to toe in these things, and they just have to keep going?
I would just be quitting.
So if you'd like to be covered in cicadas, consider heading out to the Midwest.
Yes, please. That's an opportunity we only get once every 17 years to sell. Why didn't we come up with some kind of cicada tourism package?
Tourism. Yeah.
Come travel the cicada trail with Key to the World
like having chicharrones bombard your face when you walk outside?
Nope.
Oh, missed opportunities.
Pass.
I hope we better keep this company running for another 17 years.
Well, we hope
I volunteered to be the tour operator.
You start working on what that package can look like in 17 years, Dan. We'll put you in charge of the cicada
Hopefully
tourism.
by then the Ohio restaurant will have figured out the legality of selling a cicada pie.
Perfect their recipe. Gross.
Yuck.
Well, stick around because after the commercial break, we're taking a look at the history of fast passes at Disney parks and talking about what they might look like when and if they return. When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World travel vacation planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. As we all know, it's been, well over a year for some places, and as the park shut down, and one of the things that went away from the Disney parks to help with distancing and health and safety precautions with the COVID pandemic was the FastPass. And now that things are coming swiftly back to life at the parks, we're hearing those rumblings of some rumors of they're coming back, and what are they going to be like?
I see that rumor every single day on social media. Yeah.
So what are some ones that what are some of the juiciest pieces of gossip you guys have been hearing about these darn fast passes?
The biggest one I see all the time is that free fast passes in any form will never return. Everyone's convinced that it's going to be a pay to play system only.
Yeah.
Similar to Universal's Express
I could
Pass.
very easily buy that one. I think they'll have it.
Yeah.
Or they'll have like I don't know. I honestly think they will do away with it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I think that the FastPass Plus system at Walt Disney World is not going to come back the way that it was. It was universally hated, really. I mean, even
from the second
cast members hate it.
I never did hate it. I liked the fact that I knew at least I was going to have those 3 guaranteed things. I'm a mental planner, if not a great actual planner, but I liked in my head knowing I can do these things. So I did like that part about it. Like I like ADRs and knowing
and
where
it definitely appealed to people who really loved to have a concrete plan before they went. And a lot of people did like that.
I've always just found it stressful. The idea of trying to figure that out and then trying to make people happy, especially because, I don't normally worry about making them for myself, but planning for clients. It's
very stressful for travel advisors.
On me for getting you the things that you want to do and when you want.
Well, and people really, they would get so upset if they couldn't pre-get, however long ahead of time, the one that they wanted to ride, and they acted like they could never ride it if they didn't have that fast pass. Like you can still get in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
But their precious darlings can't wait in line, so they have to have this. So.
Yeah. I think I don't think that it's going to go, a free something is going to go away completely, because there are several systems they have in place at their parks internationally that combine a free fast pass with an upgraded paid one that work really well in those places. So I tend to believe that they're going to go more in that direction. It works at Disneyland. It works at Disneyland Paris. It works in Shanghai. So if you guys want to talk about the different systems at those parks, that could be.
Does Paris work the way Max Pass at Disneyland? Max Pass at Disneyland?
No, actually, theirs is a combination of traditional Fast Pass, so you still can go to the ride
and
scan your ticket and get a Fast Pass. Yep. But then they have 2 levels of upgraded paid access. The first one is the super fast pass. And that one is just one-time access to all of the rides that take a fast pass. So you get, it's like,
Universal Express Pass.
Exactly. And there's no time specified. You just, you can ride each of those one time. And that one, now, they haven't brought it back yet since
That's
COVID.
what makes me think they may just take this chance to.
Yeah, that is possible.
Unexpected and unprecedented chance for them to totally do something
just do
new
away with
because
it everywhere.
everybody's done without it.
Yeah, that one there cost as little as about $30 during the slow times, 26 euros, which at the time was about somewhere in the 30s.
That's pretty cheap.
And it's seasonally based. So then during the high season, it was 40 euros, which is about $50 typically. So not too bad. Then they had, and this was my favorite, they had the ultimate Fast Pass.
Mhm.
And this one cost more.
Really?
And yeah. And actually,
Weird.
during the busy time, the ultimate Fast Pass was more than your park ticket. It was about $100.
And super worth it.
And so worth
We've been
it
twice
because
and
it's
had it most times.
yeah, it's unlimited Fast Pass access to every single ride that takes it as many times as you want. No limit on the time.
And I got to tell you, no one buys that. Like the Fast Pass lines were empty.
It's true.
Every time we went, I don't know if
They were.
Europeans are cheap or poor or what, but nobody was ever in those Fast Pass lines.
And that one, even like in the slow season, it was 50 euros, which is about $65. To me, that's not that much.
Mhm. Well, especially
Or
once you've shot the
you
wad
do-
to go to Europe, $60 feels
to
like
get
a
there.
bargain.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. What we did one of the times was we bought one of each because we were there for 2 days. Our first day was a little shorter because we were just arriving and, we knew
Jet-lagged.
we'd be, basically exhausted. So we got the one that for that day, we got the one you just got one ride in. And then the next day we bought the ultimate Fast Pass and rode whatever over and over again.
And there
It was
are
great.
some rides that don't take it still, like the Crushes
Yes.
Coaster and several of the ones you want to have a
Yeah.
Fast Pass don't still.
Yeah, we still had to stand in line for Crushes Coaster. Oh, I will never forget that line either.
Yeah.
It was a long line.
There
and
was a
a
child with a pants load in front of us the entire time.
yes. Yeah. It was unpleasant. But the ride is so fun. Yeah.
I mean, on the plus side, they didn't do what a parent in Walt Disney World might have done and just let them use the bush to
Yeah, that's
take care
fair.
of things.
Yeah. Then Shanghai is similar. They have the traditional old school Fast Pass where you have to go to the ride and pull a ticket. Nowadays it's scanning your
Telephone.
your app or your park ticket. Yeah. Or there's, they just have one level of paid one. It's called the Premier Pass. And that is the same as Disneyland Paris's lower priced one. It's one entry per day that you purchased it to their top rides. And that one is,
And do they also
Get
have
this.
a free version?
and then they also have the free version. The Premier Pass in Shanghai, when it launched, it cost $15.
You can't
And-
get anything at
right.
a Disney park for $15
Yeah.
practically.
And that was on slow days, and on peak days it was $20. So, I mean,
That's a steal.
And that
in China,
that just gives you access to all of them. Because like at Disneyland California, it's that $15 gives you the opportunity to then grab one if
Yes,
you can. So
exactly.
that's quite a
Yeah.
bargain there.
yeah, it is a bargain.
And really, to be honest, for the average guest, probably only using one Fast Pass per attraction in a day is
It's
Yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah, that park,
Sure.
it's so
Yeah.
humongous.
Most-
You're not going to be just cranking out rides like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, at most parks, unless you're a fanatic or a special case like we are, you're probably not
Hey.
repeating
Yeah,
rides. in a
exactly.
day.
Then Tokyo Disneyland, they just have the traditional Fast Pass,
Like you
That
go
you
to
go-
the ride and pull the thing or scan your phone.
and it's free. And then, of course, there's Max Pass at Disneyland, which I actually kind of
It's
like.
a great
that system.
combination there.
I liked it.
They still have
Mhm.
the Fast Pass free machine, but then they also have Max Pass, which started, I think, at $10 a day. Now it's 15.
Started at, I think it was like
I think,
around $10.
I think it was
I think
10,
you're
and then
right.
it went up pretty quickly to 15, and everybody
Yeah,
tried it.
When they realized how many people were willing to pay that
but
$10.
that gives you the opportunity to electronically. It still works the same. You can't get one until you've used your last one, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have
And you
to
have
go
to
to the
be in
machine.
the park.
You have to be within
Yeah.
the
And at $15, that's still a steal because you're getting the photo pass with that.
Yes,
which
that was
really,
the greatest part about that.
When we paid for it, that's how I looked at it. I looked at it as I'm paying for a really cheap photo pass, and I get the added bonus of being able to make the fast passes.
Which people think, well, if I'm a local, I don't need photo pass, but that's all your on-ride photos too. People think of it as just the picture in front of the castle and those things, but the on-ride photos are awesome. And the more you go, the more you learn where those cameras are and how to do the fun pictures.
Right.
Yes.
And they keep on adding more and more stuff. It's like, even if you're local, some of those shots where they, zoom way out or way in
love
on
those.
you, and they keep on adding more really cool things.
So at Universal, they have never had a free fast pass of any kind. They just have their express pass. And there are two levels of that one. Well, there's three because they have a Volcano Bay one, but the cheapest one of those they have, at the cheapest one at the cheapest time is $69, and they go up, and that's for access to one ride, one day, and so 69 is for like I don't know what day, but they go up to like 125.
I think they go even higher.
Well, that's
than
not
that
for the regular. The Universal one goes up to like 159 or something crazy.
Well, even the regular one, when we were pricing out for my wife's trip at the end of this week as we record, it was going to be like $450 for two of the lower tier express passes for one day.
Two for one day.
Single day, two people for the lower tier that only gets you one of each ride was like $400.
And so
that is
Universal
crazy.
Certainly is not hurting for people for money or visitors with never having any free component. I think Disney is aware of that, and this is the time that they can make that big cash grab. That's too much money to say no to.
It is. I think they're also trying, and Universal is trying this too. They're both trying to do a lot of this virtual queue thing instead of a fast pass.
Yeah, I think Universal started that with the Jimmy Fallon ride, which of all the rides to start with.
And now Hagrid was doing virtual queue for a long time, and then they stopped. And they added it to Express Pass.
Then they started back. Then they stopped again, I think.
It's been sporadic, it seems like.
And now the Velocicoaster is on a virtual queue. And Disney's been kind of dipping their toe in the water with the boarding groups idea. I don't know how I feel about them making more and more rides have boarding groups. Those things
I get the idea of it. They think if you're wandering around spending money on food and snacks and whatever.
Yeah, but that was the idea of the fast pass to begin with. And doing it, the boarding group system is hell.
It is
I
hell.
hate it.
It makes it impossible for anybody to get on. It's stressful.
Yeah.
It's
Well, if they did it with multiple rides, because now you basically, like, everybody wants Rise of the Resistance. But now at Disney, you have to choose, do you want Rise of the Resistance or Spider-Man?
At Disneyland?
Yeah, at Disneyland.
Or Indiana Jones.
Nobody wants that.
Oh, that's right. They put Indiana Jones on it.
Well, and then when it's your boarding time, Indiana Jones will break down because it breaks down.
Yes, it will. It will be broken.
Day.
Yeah. I like the idea. If I had to choose, I wish they would bring Max Pass to Walt Disney World.
Something like it, yeah.
Something like that. Put the old system back where, the people who don't want to spend any money, you have your family's runner, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's family had the Fast Pass runner.
Guess who was not the Fast Pass runner in my family? Carrie was when the gate would open, she would run to pull the thing at wherever, and she could physically run. Oh, I'll keep Wyatt. You go do that.
Yeah. And then
I only got to experience that once, and honestly, I liked having that job. It was fun on that trip when we.
The other thing I used to love about the physical hard paper was if you besides the obvious was that if you were leaving or your plans change or whatever, you could give those things out and pixie dust a family. That was always super fun to hand somebody like, hey, are you guys sticking around for a while? Here's a 3:00 Fast Pass for whatever ride. That was fantastic. You cannot do that.
And
then they realize once you leave that it's for like Small World or something.
Nobody wants this.
And then for the people who want to spend the extra money, have something like Max Pass. I don't want them to go back to the 60 days in advance having to pick your rides. No. I hope that doesn't happen.
I would like to see a combination of things where if they did something like FastPass where you can grab them as you go, but in the boarding groups and all that, but then also have if you want to splurge one day and you can't afford a VIP tour or something, go ahead and shell out that $400 on one day. If you've got a special guest or whatever, just some time that you need to just do it up right, have the option of like the Disneyland Paris or something like that. Some combination of things. I think that's probably what we'll see.
I liked that option, and I didn't see, people didn't complain about it. They either took their, went to pull a fast pass, or they paid the money for the upgraded thing. It really wasn't a big deal, I guess. I mean, I know they've set that precedent of fast pass is included. So I do think there will be some hullabaloo if they don't come back with some level at which it's egalitarian.
It also,
and everybody can have it.
It also
right?
seems like they could do something if they're trying to do the virtual line thing. If they, rather than these boarding groups on the new mega rides, if they had some thing that was somewhere between FastPass and that, where you virtually held your spot in line, but you could do it for several, like just grab a virtual, like a place in line here and then there, and make it like FastPass or whatever, but you're already just in line.
Did you show me some patent that someone found that they were working on?
Yeah, Disney filed it
like that
this year. It was either this year or late last year, and it was convoluted. Of course, I couldn't understand it, but I actually saw a TikTok after I showed you that where someone was talking about it too. And it is a sort of algorithm-y thing where they monitor how many people are in a line and open up spots where you on your telephone device, I assume it's in my Disney experience, you could look and see what there are openings for and virtually get in line for that. And then it's like putting your name on the list at a restaurant, and then they beep you and it's time to go.
Yeah, the thing about that is that
you're inevitably clear across the park.
Space. Well, but there's so much space for people to abuse that. And it's like, have you seen how many people there's people that are screwing up park reservations and like rise boarding groups for other people by practicing getting these. So it's like, so they're just an AP at Walt Disney World. They're like, I got to make sure I know how to get this. So I'm gonna practice getting my rise boarding group.
Poughkeepsie.
I'm not even going to the park. Yeah. But I'm gonna.
Well, that's why they
do this for.
They need to geofence it like Disneyland. So you cannot do that unless you're in the park. Or at least, I mean, and at Walt Disney World,
you can
Disney World, you could make it. Sure. Just as long as you are at Walt Disney World Resort, then you can do it. Yeah. That system you're talking about, Jeff, that you saw the patent on reminds me a little bit of Tapu Tapu at Volcano Bay.
Yes, and that was the TikTok that I saw, was that they were like, they're acting like this is patent, but it's already what Tapu Tapu is. And I've actually never experienced that. I've only been to Volcano Bay on a walking tour of it as a travel agent, so I've never actually experienced what that is like. How does that one work?
We used it, and so there's you get this little it looks like a watch, looks like kind of a cross between a watch and a magic band. Yeah. It has an actual little screen on it, unlike a magic band. And then at each of their big rides, they have a little kiosk that looks like a FastPass kiosk. And you go up and you tap your wristband.
Tapu
it. And it puts you in the line. And then you leave. And when it's time for you to go back, there's haptics. And the watch buzzes you and says it's your turn.
20 minutes or
and
whatever.
You go back. And it gives you the time window that you have to go back, tells you what time it is and the time window to go back, and you go back and ride the ride without standing in a line. And then they actually have another level paid. That's free. Everybody who gets into the park with a park ticket gets that. If you rent a cabana, which you have to pay for, you have a little Tapu Tapu machine in your cabana, and you can tap yourself onto whatever ride you want from your cabana instead of having to walk from ride to ride. So that's kind of how they do
and then they also
the
have
upgraded system.
a Volcano Bay Express you can buy too. That's like the Unlimited or the Universal Express. And that one starts at 20 and I'm sure goes way on up. And that's where you can skip the virtual line one time per participating ride. So it sounds like for all their bigger rides, you could one time skip but otherwise you're just getting the actually not standing in a queue part is what I'm interested in.
And it works really well at Volcano Bay. Since it's a water park, you can go, just be in the wave pool or go on the lazy river, or you go do something else, or maybe you go stand in, because it will show you. They have little boards throughout the park that will show you which rides. Sometimes the rides are ride now, meaning you don't have to tapu because there's not much of a line. So you can tap yourself into the crazy drop slide. Can't remember what it's called, but might have a long line. Yeah. And then you check out which rides either have a short wait or are ride now, and you just go stand in line for that one. And then you could do something like that at Walt Disney World too.
Lazy River, things that don't need a line.
Right. And at Walt Disney World, that could be going to see a show that's a crowd eater while you're waiting for your turn on Big Thunder Mountain.
That's what I think. They're kind of waiting on whatever's going to be next, whether it's the return of FastPass or something different. They're waiting until they have all of these crowd eaters back open. And that's looking like fall. We'd have everything normal.
The lines are probably going to look a little less extreme right now since they've gotten rid of social distancing and all of the plexiglass and all that stuff. Now they're going to be packing people in.
It is alarming when you walk up to something like Jungle Cruise that the line is all the way back to the Aladdin ride. You're like, oh, but if you look, it's really not. Yeah. It's like 200 people and those boats load 20 at a time. So you're not waiting that long.
Yep. The worst has been Flight of Passage. That one, that line regularly stretches all the way out of Pandora,
all the way down the road
across
to
that bridge. Yes. Oh, so and sometimes
really take something out of the immersive experience.
You can actually watch the Lion King show while you're in the line for that.
Yes, it goes right through there.
Thoughtful of them.
That's what they should do.
So hopefully, now that social distancing is gone, that's going to look a little less alarming.
Well, and to your point of checking in for an attraction like Big Thunder, Tapu Tapu style, and then go doing other things, I think that was what the intent of FastPass Plus was, but nobody uses it that way.
Well, and you couldn't. So
they think, you've got to, everybody flocks to all of the big attractions with their fast passes, and then you just end up standing in a long fast pass ride. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Being there last month, being there in May, the parks work pretty darn well without fast passes at all because they were designed to work that way. The problem is people need to realize the value in the other experiences that aren't the one big headline ride of each land or area of the parks.
That's fair.
The whole idea is if you're spreading out and you intersperse going to the Tiki Room, please, so that it doesn't get shut down, and going to the Country Bears, please, so that they don't get rid of it. And, go see the shows and stop and watch the cavalcade or ride on the steamboat. And so if you take advantage of all of those attractions, then the crowds are better dispersed and you don't have monstrous lines for and you still find your time to go, but don't think that those big name attractions are the only things that are worth it.
But you have all those people that think this is the undoable thing. I'm only going to do it this once, and I've got to do only these big headline attractions and see every princess and all that.
Those people are stupid.
They're just... they don't realize if you do it right, you can go to Disney every couple of years.
Well, even if this is your only trip, I guarantee that you could have, if things worked the way the parks were designed and they weren't broken by FastPass Plus, you could have a perfectly wonderful trip and get the vast majority of those headliner attractions in. And it would work.
But you still have all these people that cry because their little privileged darling didn't get to do that one thing that she only is upset about it because you are. Kids had a great time. They didn't remember that they didn't get to ride whatever thing. They haven't built it up in their minds. You did that.
The FastPass lines were getting unmanageable towards the end, right before the pandemic. The last few trips I took in 2019, there were times that we just left because we'd go back to our FastPass time, and the FastPass line for Big Thunder was longer than the standby
FastPass line for they didn't manage them right either. The FastPass line,
especially at Magic Kingdom,
Space Mountain was routinely way out near the launching pad or whatever that's called now.
Or how about Haunted Mansion? It's an Omni mover. It should never have had a FastPass line to begin with, and it ended up with these monstrous hour-plus waits on a FastPass return because everybody sees that it's got FastPass, so they think you have to.
Well, now if you look, they're routinely, it's 45 minutes is kind of the most you ever see on Haunted Mansion since they haven't had FastPass.
I haven't seen the 3 and 4 hour lines and standby that were happening since there's been no FastPasses.
Even like Mine Train was reasonable when we were there. It was about 45 to 55 minutes, which sounds like a lot to people who are used to a FastPass, but really it's not.
It's not.
And the posted wait times are generally inflated anyways.
And the queues are entertaining there.
Yeah.
Well, they will be when they open this.
And now they can manage. Yeah, right. And now they can manage the number of people in the park overall with the park reservation system, which I don't see going away.
I think that's what they're going to do. I think some version of FastPass will return, but they're going to manage crowds with this thing and then figure out how to get more money out of fewer people. That's the ideal.
It is, and that's you mentioned this before that they tried that with increasing ticket prices and it wasn't working.
They couldn't squeeze people out that way, so now they
Yeah, so now it will be something different.
People are willing to go into massive amounts of debt
to do anything they want to do. That's just America. Or the world, I guess.
And the Express Pass works well at Universal, and they make massive amounts of money on it. They do have, you can get the Express Pass included if you stay at one of their 3 premier hotels, which would be more difficult for Disney to do. They have too many hotels.
They have too many that they consider premier.
Yeah. And they
could always split them up and make a different tier of the top of the deluxe.
Even Universal, I mean, I personally find the experience of Sapphire Falls to be on par with Royal Pacific or even Hard Rock. But it's too big, so they couldn't add. There's just too many rooms. They could not add that to the free Express Pass.
I wish they did a discounted Fast Pass for hotel guests or something.
Yeah, because it's. I think the rooms are beautiful. The service is wonderful. It's just as good as one of their top tiers.
So
it's just too big.
Disney adds a 4th tier. Put their monorail loop plus Riviera and I don't know. The Tower, Casino, and make those eligible for the
$20 or make it a $20 thing.
I do wonder what I would love.
Then you could never stay in those hotels because everyone would just all it would do is fill that up.
Yeah, well, that's what they want.
That's true.
It is what they want. Nobody's staying at Grand Floridian right now. Maybe it'll be Grand Floridian.
So if you Blue Sky, if the 3 of us are running Imagineering or whatever department this falls into, Blue Sky, what would you do if you had your druthers?
I would bring Max Pass to Walt Disney World, not overthink it. Just put the machines back and charge $10-15 a day for the ability to make the.
Or if you could do the same thing but make no machine, just make it all virtual. Where as soon as one's up, you can grab another. You don't have to physically go to that's weird that they make you go to the machine.
Yeah, but having the free tier. That's what I say too. I mean, honestly, number one, just kill the Fast Pass altogether. But they can't do that. So yeah, bring Max Pass the way they do it. Even if they wanted to, because I know that they, want us to buy their photo package. So if they modify it so that instead of getting all of the photo pass, maybe they just give you ride photos, and then you'd have to pay for the full package to get the photographer's pictures or something. But yeah, bring Max Pass. That way you've got the free tier. You can pay.
They could even make levels of the Max Pass, so you have one price if you want Max Pass access at all 4 parks. Or you could decide that, today, even though I have a park hopper, I only want Max Pass at Magic Kingdom.
I like that.
And I'm not going to pay for it at the other 3 parks.
That gives you
you can have a tiered system.
Some sense of ownership over it anyway. I'd like to.
The problem is that requires, it sounds like a lot of advanced programming skills for them, and the strong point isn't setting up customer interaction with an app to
and the other problem that I had with FastPass Plus, and that I still have really with them trying to move everything into my Disney experience, is that it's going on the basis that everybody is tech savvy and can use these kinds of apps.
Not even just tech savvy, but just smart. Or that their app is worth a crap. Honestly, they bury stuff behind so many menus. It's hard to figure out where to find your stuff.
And the menu system doesn't always make sense.
And they're just not everybody does want to do everything in an app. Some of us are used to having an app for everything, and we're comfortable with it. But their Imagineers haven't seemed to realize that that's just not everyone. And
Imagineers has never tried to teach my dad to use his iPhone.
Yes,
well, I mean, even for me, it was nice to leave my phone in my pocket this last trip for more.
I really don't get on my phone much when I'm with my friends at the parks. We all take our pictures and do all that, but once we get in a restaurant or something, then you upload. But generally, if I'm not taking a picture, I'm not just like playing Jewel Quest while I walk around.
Right, but I mean, like, I don't want to futz with the app and search for ride time and all that stuff. So
that's why I think if you leave the way the old system, I don't think that system was broken. It was a situation where they ignored the if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Don't throw $1 billion+ at that system.
Well, they thought they had found a way to get people to spend more time in shops rather than going around collecting fast passes. Jeff, what was your Blue Sky idea?
I think some combination, like I touched on it earlier, but if they did basically Max Pass, but I was kind of the opposite of you. Do away with going to stops. Make it all where it's on a timer thing. It knows when your one pass is about to be up, you can grab another. Make it like that so you don't have to scan anything in front of the ride. It's silly you'd have to walk back to Big Thunder to reserve it. That makes no sense. It's electronic anyway. Why can't you just touch on it? It knows when your thing is up. And but that, and some combination of adding those virtual queues where you're sort of like putting your name on a list. Or maybe the super premier attractions, like the newer attractions, the first couple of years they're open or something. So you put your name on a waiting list and they basically beep you when it's your time, like a table at a restaurant.
I like it.
That'd be nice too, actually. I mean, it's like picking your seat at the movie
theater. Kick me out when I do that.
You know. Well, because you can see how many seats are available on the attraction, and that way.
That would be cool too. If you could choose front row, and waiting for the front row of the ride is going to be 2 hours longer than if you didn't. But who cares?
Why not? Yeah, as long as you know when to come back. I like that.
What about you? What do you think? You just want them to get rid of all fast passes and make people stand in line?
Realistically, they're not going to do that.
That's true.
So, and the reason I'd like to see that is to get some love for some of the overlooked attractions.
Yeah.
But so if they're not going to do that, then I mean, Max Pass seems to be the best option.
I mean, theoretically, if they do any of these, then that leaves people with more free time to shop or eat or watch a show or go to the Country Bears or whatever. But
when they came out with Max Pass, my first thought was, this is what I wanted FastPass Plus to be, not this pre-booking nonsense that we had.
The pre-booking thing has added to the fever pitch that people get into, that they have to do these certain things. And, we have a blog, but all the blogs and the influencers and the everybody else that you have to, the Disney moms, you have to do this and you have to get this picture with this princess, or otherwise your vacation is a failure. And we've all seen in these Facebook groups when people are like, my little Becky didn't get to meet, who cares? Becky doesn't care.
The idea that there's one specific way to do this experience is
your kids are going to, what your kids want to do is go jump in the splash pad that costs nothing. But you want their picture with Cinderella. They don't.
Or swim in the pool back at the hotel.
Yeah, that's really, that was always what White did. We'd spend all this money and he'd be like, can we go swim? And I wanted to strangle him. But then I got to where I was like, you know what? I am old and tired and it's hot out here. Let's go swim. And there's a bar at the pool.
The pool has drinks.
Yeah.
Drinks.
One thing that makes me nervous, they've publicly acknowledged the genie thing.
Ugh,
if that ever comes. That makes me so nervous because that's like they're going to add another layer with another app that you can use to interact with this system that's already hard enough to deal with the one app that they already have.
Is the equivalent of that annoying pop-up, how can I help you, chatbot?
Yes.
It's not going to work. No. They're going to think it's going to help, and it won't work because Disney designed it.
Yeah, and their tech doesn't work right now.
I don't understand it. They can produce the Star Wars sequels and the Avengers movies. They have access to insane amounts of technology and computing power, and they can't make this app work.
It's nuts to me.
Well, I don't get it.
How many times have you, just Jeff even, had to take your stupid magic band down to the desk because it won't open your door? Yeah.
It's more shocking when we get somewhere and I can get into the room than when I can't.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when have you ever tried to order something at Amazon and it didn't work right? Like companies like that just got it going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's mind-boggling.
Can't make a website, but they can make Flight of Passage. I don't get it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, maybe we should just leave the apps out of this altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to the paper FastPasses.
It really doesn't seem like it should be that hard. You want to charge me for them?
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to get frustrated.
Well, hey, those ultimate and fancy fast passes at Disneyland Paris were not electronic. No, it was a piece of paper. Yep, that you just flashed to the bored French teenager working the ride. He let you in the line. Yep. They never went
was our
to
waiter's
anything
name
electronic.
at the Captain Jack's restaurant? It was something so not French. Heather's son was like his name was Donnie or something. Oh, it was Ronnie.
It was Ronnie. That's right.
And we were like, what is our waiter's name? Ronnie. Frenchie, and we were making up all this. And Heather's son Owen said, oh, it was Ronnie, and no one believed him. The guy walked up and he was named Ronnie.
It sure as heck was Ronnie.
I'm sure it was pronounced Ronnie or something.
Oui.
Anywho, I guess time will tell what they will come up with. And I think we'll find out before this year's up.
I do too.
Yeah.
Now that they don't need that line space for physical distancing, which has been the excuse. Now they don't. Their excuse is gone. Yeah. So let's see what they've been cooking up for the last. What are we at now?
Also, if they can pack everybody into a show and everything else, why can't we have a buffet?
Yep. Yeah. We have figured out after 18 months that that's not how this was, that COVID was spreading.
If you're having staffing issues, what better than a buffet? Everyone gets their own food.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't get it.
And bring back the shrimp skewers at Ohana.
Everyone loves a casserole.
Not me.
Yeah.
Or make it shrimp and grits then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a casserole. That's a shrimp casserole I would eat.
Yeah.
It's basically
a pile of cheddar grits and some delicious sautéed shrimp on top. Yes. I love shrimp and grits. Maybe, I don't know. Was it? We had a friend who would.
Jason
when they came
ruined
around, yes, they'd come around with that shrimp skewer and ask, how many would
did he
you
want?
like?
He wanted this many. He took
He
the
gestured.
whole sword, which no one does, but he did it mostly on a dare. But he ate every one of those shrimp.
He ate all those shrimp. It was so many.
It was 36
shrimp
inches of
tails
shrimp.
and yes, so much.
Which some
I
might
have
say
to.
is
I have
not
to
very
believe
shrimpy,
he
it's more of a
didn't
large.
feel. Yeah.
It was a jumbo.
I have to believe he didn't feel well later, but I don't know.
Can confirm. Remember we were like, let's go to Magic Kingdom. They're open until midnight, and after dinner, he and I got through the gate, and about 60 feet down Main Street, we're like, nope, we have to leave. Went back to the hotel.
The shrimp are rearing their ugly
That
heads.
is correct.
And all those tiny little legs. Well, thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited to make a rope drop sprint to the FastPass kiosks or explore anywhere else around the world, Key to the World Travel has a Temple of Doom full of expert travel planners ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with a no-obligation quote. Don't forget to catch up with our friend, the Theme Park Professor, for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is always the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globe-trotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest news at www.goldkeyadventurers.com. We can't wait to hang out with you again next week. See you real soon.
Bye.
To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.